Hello YouTube. Sorry for the long break between videos. I was in Peoria, as I stated in my last video. Did not do so well. Should have probably won at least X2, but I made a big misplay, so that's on me. But we are back just doing some more ranked gameplay. Here's the list, and yeah, we can just kind of hop right into it. Got two red green Luffy, a Teach, and a Mihawk today. So like probably what we expect the meta to be for the most part. Outside of like a now obviously would be in there. Wooden dice go first. We have Kobe plus blocker law, so it's a pretty decent hand. Hold on, gotta get the background noise going. Um, War against the red green goat himself, Rick Master Flash. If you're interested in this leader and playing red green Luffy, you probably should just watch him on Twitch. To be honest, I did go back and watch this game after from his perspective because he was streaming to see his opinion on stuff, and I think it actually helped me quite a bit. There's no point in swinging. He seems to prioritize he had another search in hand. He seems to prioritize not letting me get a swing in that turn. So here we draw the Rosi Law for turn. Luckily, if not, it was just gonna be 7-5 play Rip Law, because he usually takes the 5 here. You can go 5, you can go 6. I think they normally take in this swing either way, but like theoretically, you should just go 6. Um, Luffy stage, another stage. So he's gonna get to. This is like annoying to be honest, because like it plays around my event, which I don't have, but it still plays around it if I top deck it, and it lets him do all the searching while actually still getting like the Don to actually hit me this turn. Honestly, I think I should just like block one, but I decided to take. I don't think that's a big deal. I think this upcoming turn is where I do make. I just killed this Luffy. He said something like I should probably just prioritize the Usopp and clearing that, which I could see being true. So I guess in the future, what I'm doing, and I think I do it in for other games also against him, I'm basically gonna prioritize the Don restanders over the bigger power swings in the double attack. If they restand Don, I'm just gonna prioritize that instead. I think in the future, it seems to make the later turns much more awkward for sure. So yeah, now we're already at 1, which is like not the end of the world, but I think it'd actually be better if we were at 2 in this spot. But we just Sakamama again. And Sanji does at least rescind Adon, so like maybe it's still correct to. Yeah, we're not really allowed to do any swings here. Maybe it's fine to get rid of the Sanji over the Usopp. Not entirely sure. Ideally, I just like to have a raw mama for the Usopp on turns where I can actually just swing. Where I actually just have raw Dawn, I don't need a Sokka. But I'd have to also see that, right? And right now I just have the 2 mamas, which is already like more than you can normally ask for. Yeah, I think in the future I'm gonna kill the Usopp in that position over the Luffy. And if anything, we can just fill the blocker or 2 for the regular Luffy. And if he wants to do some rest shenanigans to hit the double attack, doesn't necessarily mean we lose, right? So I do plan on double developing next turn, so I decided to just block that 8. Then he does just pass. Oh no, he swings at another 8. I'm gonna block 1. I don't expect him to ever actually turn this Usopp. They're not really allowed to. It's a big part of the defense. And the search is basically free, right? Because he's gonna restand 4 Dawn anyway. We do see another Sokka off the top. So at this point, you could stage first. I think I like stage before Sokka. I'll just add a 2k. Cycle stage, and then you can use your other Sokka effect. And now you can go Sokka leader effect, use your other Sokka effect, so we still have 2 Dawn. And then it's still a weird spot where we're really not allowed to do any more swings. Like, you could try to do an 8 and a 9. But you still have to turn Rosi Law, actually. So yeah, you're really just not allowed to do any more swings. You really want to float 2 to play around DMG. But we have actually Sokka, so we are eventually going to be able to start pressuring here pretty soon. This next turn, basically, we're going to be able to at least start swinging some. Oh, technically, in this spot, you could block 1, and then when you swing the Zoro, you'd only have to give a 2k. So you could give 2-1 instead of 2-2, but I didn't have a 1 that I wanted to give. You know, I wanted to play these Borsalinos, so... The awkward part about playing the Borsalinos, though, is healing to 2 doesn't really do a ton when they have the Luffy on board, because they can easily rest both blockers and then just double attack you with Luffy. Which means maybe this turn... I'm pretty sure I go like 9-9... I go like 4-9 at this Sanji here. Maybe I should just get rid of the Luffy in this spot. But I was like trying to get rid of the Don restanders. With being at 1, I did pretty much decide it was probably better to get rid of those than to... than to get rid of the double attacker. But I think in order to make it a good line to double heal down the line, I should have probably got rid of the Luffy over the Sanji here. Just so I can play double Borsalino later without worrying too much about it. But we get rid of the Sanji instead. We got like 2 cards there in the body. So like we are progressing. It's just like a little sketchy. I do keep holding on to this Rosi Law, because I feel like there are worlds where we play it. Obviously, at like any point, we just lose to Luna. I'm pretty sure when I watched this back in his Twitch, he's actually not on Luna with this build. He's just testing some other stuff. But, you know, I always play to make them have the Luna anyway. It's not really a card you can afford to play around a lot of the time. Luffy, get rid of my Rosi Law. Just let it die. 6, definitely I love you. So I think I decided to just take here. I don't think that's correct. It's probably not the worst, but I just take here and then I decided to just block the 9. Um, Looking back at it, there's just no world we ever live here. Unfortunately, we know he searched Anami earlier, so we know he'll rest any blockers we play, and then we're staring down 9Ks. And if we like event clear these in Borsa, we're still just dead because we have no Don and 1 life against 2 9Ks. If we double Borsa, he just Namis and double attacks us. Like maybe that's still probably the best line to try and live here, just counter the double attack. But it's probably like a 9 double attack to be honest, and that's pretty hefty to counter, and then still have to counter 2 more swings. I think that's probably the best line to try and live this turn though. But looking back at it, I think I should have just tried to keep my Borsalino and just go for game. If they have Charleston, I don't think there's ever a world where we can go for game, but like maybe have to put them on have it. Like kind of hard to say. I watched this back and saw he really didn't have Charleston and much. So like if we kept Borsalino, we might have been able to send lethal and actually get there. I still actually think we would have, to be honest. I think he still would have had the counter, but like it's just so impossible to live from this position. And looking back at it, I think the main thing that made this game, I think there was a couple misplays, but I think for the most part we drew pretty well. He drew pretty well. So I guess the main thing that really made this game harder was this Usopp just standing 2 every turn. And I still think, and then I also like I should be able to quickly do the math and know that I am dead if I try to event here, but I just do it anyway. I definitely should go Borsa float 100%. I think we still probably die. I think at this point we just didn't play the earlier turns properly enough. Like I said, I think we need to get rid of that Usopp on site. We saw the event earlier, it would have been helpful as well, but this turn was definitely too late. Then from here we just die. So even though we drew very well, I'd say, it's like no event, but still pretty well. Just too much pressure. Just every time I cleared the body, he just played 2 more. Which is like what he wants to do, right? But I mean, we cleared a Luffy, Sanji, a Sanji, another Sanji. I guess just gotta prioritize the dominant standards so they can't freely keep developing like this without ever getting pressured. Is the main part there. Second game, same thing. You could argue to keep this hand, but I think I decided to just hard mulligan for the promo, which I do find. Unfortunately, our only searcher is Suru. If I was going second, I would wait to play the Suru, but because I'm first, it's a little bit more time sensitive. But if I waited, I would have found I would have top decked the Rosi Law anyway, so feels bad. Then here we actually want like as many Sakas as possible, so I just trashed the 2K. Because if I'm not mistaken, we also bottomed the Sokka there, right? Yeah. So that means we'd be playing with that max 2 Sokkas, and we'd have to find the 4th. When we probably want to have at least 2 Sokkas, and like potentially a 3rd. So he does just prioritize stage into skipping our turn this turn, basically. So we're gonna see a very similar early game, except we're down 1 from the Suru. Usopp, swing 6, we'll just take. And then same as last turn, we'll just go 7, play Rosi Law. The big difference here now is we actually have the black rope. I do decide to swing 6 this time over 5. Either way, I expect him to take, but it should theoretically be 6, so that's what I do. We have the black rope. It's not live because he hasn't played any searches. There's a chance he could make it live for us this turn. No, it depends what he does. We just free block. He never wants to turn this Usopp, right? So we'll make him for sure. He was just like skill checking with the 5. Which is fair enough. So happy to see that searcher. We hope to see one more. But if not, we at least have Sokka, but we don't have any Mama. So like right now, the plan is probably looking like try to just swing big and play a Ripple awkwardly. It's not great with this hand because we on this turn you really desperately need to have Sokka Mama or Event be live. As soon as you miss a removal on this turn, the game can snowball quite hard. Adds another Sanji. And he does just pass. We do top deck Mama, luckily. And then this game was like after I watched the last game, like it was a couple hour or two between. So I do decide to just get rid of the Don restander. Like they both restand on and that one's bigger, so like maybe it's still fine to get rid of Sanji over Usopp. But I decide 2 Don every turn is just too much. I just want to get rid of this Usopp. So also like he's more likely to turn this Sanji next turn, whereas Usopp he's basically just never turning in this matchup. So that's another reason just get rid of the Usopp here. I go 5 instead of the Suru because even if I go Suru, if he lets it die, I don't actually get to pressure any cards out of hand by swinging 5 life, 6, 8 or anything like that. So I go 5 so I can just keep Suru for the next Sokka. You could argue to swing the Suru just to like try to make the event more live, play into him clearing it and then double developing or something. That'd be like the only reason. But like I think theoretically that's like once they learn about the event, that's bad because then they just don't hit the Suru. It doesn't make it bad though, I guess, right? It just makes it like irrelevant. But I'd rather just have the Suru for the next Sokka. There's still a chance we could event at some point in this game, but we're not necessarily playing towards it. Does go Nami. Now we see he's gonna go Sanji Usopp, so event is live, luckily. Yeah, I would have free blocked his leader if he wanted to swing it. If he wants to skill check it again. Here we can start stage because we do want to develop it this turn. I often prioritize I love yous over Borsa. We are gonna swing 5-8-8 probably. Expect him to counter the 5-8 with leader effect and then take the second 8. He doesn't really want to counter any of the 8s because I still have a 6 behind. So when you're poking in the mid game, like you want to swing as few bodies as can while getting the cards. So if he ever counters the 8, then we're gonna get a life and a card or 2 cards. So he just takes the 8, which is expected, and then we get to keep our 6k floating. Event does get to pop the 2. Sanji Zoro. Yeah, this is the card I believe he was testing over Luna right now, which is obviously good for me. Like he does clear my Sokka here, but we're definitely happy if there's no Luna. Which I didn't know at the time I was playing these games, to be clear. Even in this game I didn't know he was on no Luna. But as always, I don't play around that card. If they have it, they have it. I do block take that just to make him turn to Sanji for Sokka. Because otherwise, if he doesn't turn that Sanji there, we don't have like a great turn. And then here I do decide to sue it because our leader effect is actually relevant. Go 2, just get arrested on. Go 5. Here, yeah, we just go 9 with Rosi, expecting him to take. Because if we have a counters, then we still have our promo loss win. Like I said, we just want to turn as few bodies as possible. That is also the good way to play around Luna, is just, you know, turn as few bodies as possible. But this game has definitely gone much more ideal. He hasn't been able to freely play his 7 drops because we keep getting rid of his Donny standards. I don't remember what his hand constructions were at this time, but we do just let it die. It's really, I don't know. I don't ever try to play around that Luffy right now, at least. Just make him do it, I guess. I do add back the Rosi Law, expecting decent chance I'll play it next turn. Free block 5. He can take the Sue. And I guess he doesn't want to turn to Sanji. He just passes. I'm actually a little surprised by that. I feel like when you're at 1 life, you're fine with turning the 7k body. He's really just playing around Sokka doing that, but I guess he's okay playing around Sokka in that manner. But yeah, fair enough. This turn there's definitely options. My plan is go 11, expecting him to take, and then just go Rosi Law, Whip Law. If he counters, we probably stage, see what we draw. But if stage doesn't affect anything, decent chance we just play Borsalino. Maybe play Riplaw as like a vanilla, maybe. But also might just swing some more with the rest of the Dawn. Could we have 3 more Dawn? Depends how he counted it too, right? Say he went like leader effect, Charleston, 1k. He'd give 3 cards, but he'd have 5 extra Dawn. At that point, we definitely would just go like Borsa Riplaw. Just play with the Riplaw as vanilla. So yeah. If he ever gives 3 Dawn plus a card, we're probably gonna send to 7 and see what he wants to do. Like we might fall for a bait to go all in at that point if he does that. I'm not sure. I hate going all in, as people know, but we can go stage. We actually could have. I think it would have been better to trash the Rosi Law there and play the stage. Because we could have just got the Dawn back. So the stage was technically a free search to try and get all bricks out of our hand. Then I spend 5 here to see if he wants to give me 2 Dawn. Just because I don't, why not? Yeah, we definitely should have trashed the Rosi Law there and searched with our other stage just to try and filter the brick out of hand. Here I do just insta free block. I didn't actually think about any chance of me dying here, but I think he actually sends like Nami Brook, and obviously if he has Luna here, well, he doesn't once he plays the Brook, right? But like it's still a very bad spot for me if he has Luna at any point. But once he sends the 6, you counter, do 7, and now the math here is very evident, right? 799. So I decided not to gamble on a 1k out of my 2 life. Like, why would I when the game's just over? We do lose our Sokka doing that. It's fine. He doesn't get to restand and clear anything else because we have leader effect. And then from here, we're definitely sending lethal. Top deck Mama, which is great. That makes this much simpler. I'm gonna go 7. I don't expect him to ever block a 7. If he does, it is what it is. But honestly, even without Mama, I think it was still game. We go 9, 9, 9. If he has Charleston, it's probably not. But I know he doesn't have Charleston. Just doing the post game math. I do think for a bit. I think it is just correct to go all in on Rosie Law here. 15, I guess, is probably better than 16. But I think I do just put it all on Rosie Law because he's just dead no matter how he does it. The main thing about jamming here is he can't go leader effect into Charleston, at least not while using all of the Dawn. So you'd only be able to use 2 Dawn at most plus Charleston. So if you jam 16 here, it'd be 9, 13, plus 1 card is 15. Actually, it's better to go 16 here then, because that 1 card could be like a DMG event. So 16 actually gets there, as long as it's not a 4K event, where 15 does not. So that basically means he's dead, no matter what here. But if he has Charleston and we don't have Mama, the Mama means we kill through Charleston, basically. And without Mama, I think he probably lives, unfortunately, which is crazy. Even with assuming he has Charleston. Without Charleston, I think he's still dead either way. If I go 9, 9, 9, 6, 7, right? Because it's 1, 6 Dawn for these, so we're 3 Dawn. So 9, 9, 9, 6, 7. 6 is a Dawn. 9 is 2. Plus 1. 9 is 2 plus 1. 9 is block. So just to counter with the cards in his hand, he had 4. He has to give me 2 1s and then counter a 6 and a 7. No, he has to counter 2 1. So he has to have 2 1 1 1. To live without Charleston and without DMG. I mean, without Mama. But yeah, it is just game at this point. No Luna definitely makes this matchup a lot easier, especially if you see the removal, which is the main thing you need to see. You need to apparently just get rid of the Donry standards. He did have 2 1 1 1, so I think actually he would have had exactly enough to live without Charleston. No bricks, all counter, plus a 2. So yeah, I think without the Mama there, he would have lived exactly, which is crazy. I think theoretically you really could have played another turn there though. You didn't have to all in. But once you have a Mama, we're definitely gonna all in. Yeah. On to the next one. Now we have Teach. I think most of the Teach replays I've shown, I win Dice Roll and they don't starve. So here we can kind of see a game where I lose Dice Roll and he does actually end up starving. And kind of see how it plays out from there. We are looking like we're gonna miss Pamola, unfortunately. I decided to send 6. Honestly, you could argue this is just send 7 here. But I just go 6. I want to double search, but technically I could just search next turn. But we find Asaka. But yeah, technically I could have just like double searched after, like the turn after. Either way though, we go 6. This event is pretty dead in this matchup. I guess if they ever go like double Borsellino towards the later game, it might come up. Even then, it only clears one of them, right? I think his leader buffs everything, not just Blackbeard Pirates. So, here, because he has San Juan in life, I actually swing 5 first, allowing him to Vasco if he wants. Because if I swing 8, my thing is, my turn here is not that great. I'm probably just going to play Rosie Law. So I actually want to go 5 and I want him to counter and then go another 5. And if he ever uses the Vasco, then at least the Vasco is off the board. Whereas if I swing 8, he takes, then I only get 1 swing with my leader, which is basically going to be the same if he takes the 5 anyway because of San Juan. I decided to like skill check it and see if he wants to give me a card for the 5. He doesn't, so we don't get this win with Kobe this turn like we would like to. We'd normally want to swing 5 with Kobe for sure. Now we just go 9 with the Rosi. I might as well make him take it or give 2 cards. Devon triggers a dot Q. Definitely annoying, but it's not gonna come up this turn, and we will still get the Sakamama before he uses them, right? This win without Kobe. The big thing here is if he played an 8 cost, which obviously he's not, which is good for us. He missed stage, so he doesn't draw a perfect curve. But if he sees 8 cost here, we Sakamama the 8 cost. But then this Kobe doesn't actually really get to swing, unless I want to swing 4 at it, which you could. It might be better to just play the Riplaw though, but it's probably fine to swing 4 at it, to be honest, actually. Yeah, I think I would. I think I would just swing 4 at the 8 cost with Kobe. And then if he dot Qs or whatever, then, you know, all that is what it is. So he just does a bunch of searching, finally finds stage. He does at least develop a second body here. In the Burgess. It's a pretty good second body for him to have. We do just Sakamama swing 2 at this before he gets to the dot Q. If he redirects into dot Q at this point, it's fine for us, obviously. We go 8, he's gonna redirect into Vasco every time. I do like to go stage here. You could argue not to just for Dawn reasons, but I'm still trying to find more good cards for next turn. I.e. Sokka and maybe a Mama. I do just send a 5. I'm gonna go stage plus Riplaw. I do find another Sokka. So once that Burgess goes sideways, we can pressure it. I think if he did see perfect curve of like stage into 4, 6, 8, this is actually a game where if they do all that and you stumble at all, you definitely could lose. I think you still win if you see everything, but we did miss promo on 3. So I think missing promo on 3 means we actually definitely could have lost this game if he saw perfect. But like right now, his board would basically be the same, right? The 8-10, he could maybe try to defend, to be fair. Maybe we don't get to play this Riplaw, but it's very, very similar. And I don't think he's ever actually going to defend it, because we just probably wouldn't play Riplaw, which sucks, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just like 1 more card to make sure the body dies. Because we would just go like 8 at 8, 8 at it, and he like Vasco's, and then we go 4, he gives me a card, and then I'd probably just go 6 with leader. Kind of with Borsa, because we're not really gonna do it. It's, game state where he's starving us, right? Here, this law will actually like die right away most of the time as soon as we swing it, because it's only 5. So his leader actually like gives his leader a target to swing at, so it's really not that good. Hence why I said it's not even that big a deal if we don't get to play it next turn. So I actually just start 5 with law. He does his take, and then as soon as he does that, I just play over it, so I get another swing this turn. I'm trying to maximize my immediate value, because when it's starving like this, you do need to play to end the game a lot faster. You need to play more aggressively towards just killing them. I think it should be Rosi Law here. But I guess I decided to get rid of stage. Oh, I wanted to go 4, so I guess it's fine either way then. I want to go 4 here. But yeah, I just decided I want this Burgess to die, so I'll go 4 at it. He does redirect into the dot Q and then just kill my Kobe. I go 5 at it. think he should just let it die. Like, he really shouldn't be defending this hard, but he does block. As soon as he blocks, I decide the goal is to end the game next turn anyway. And this is going to be too small to hit us. So I'm just going to send both these 8s at life. I was fine with it, like, clearing the body for my small swings, but my 8s were never going to go towards this. Like, theoretically, he should just let it die on the 4, 1k the 5, and then he can block leader effect the 8s, and then he's probably in a pretty good spot to win this game. So I think he did throw. I think this was a game we definitely could have lost. But I go 8, he takes, I go 8. Gives me 2 Borsa, which is just game losing. He's just cooked now, right? Yeah, it's definitely over once he has to do all that. Maybe if he can clear a Rosi Law, but he's just not. He goes 8. You should never swing this teach. Like, I get why, but now it's just definitely. I mean, it was already game, even if he doesn't swing that teach. But yeah. So I think even if they draw like that, as long as you see promo on 3, you're still in a good spot. But if you miss promo and miss double develop turns, like, I didn't have even this wasn't really a good double develop turn, right? Then we would have preferred to double develop on 7 as well, but we only had a Rosi Law. Still no 4s. Well, we finally double develop there. We didn't get to double develop this turn. Yeah, this game definitely could have got to a point where he can stabilize if he didn't mess up and, like, defend this Burgess for no reason. But you can still see how I'm playing it even if they starve. You just have to speed up the game a little bit more. And then finally you just have a classic Mihawk game. When dice go first. Mulligan into no Rosi Law, but we have promo. Even though we have no Rosi Law, we at least have, like, promo into Riplaw into Dragon Twister. So, like, it's still a playable hand. And there's always a chance we find Rosi Law, right? We have so many cards to search it. No, we could top deck. He does add Mihawk. We find that, so that's a good card to try and find it, right? So play it. Don't find it. Add a Riplaw. He knows we have it now, but it doesn't matter. They're never really allowed to play around it anyway. So at least we don't whiff. Play promo, pass. He's just doing a bunch of searching. Trying to fill out his curve, I suppose. Finds a 6 Law. So we know 6 Law and a Mihawk. Then he goes Bonnie. So now we know he's on Supernova build and he's not going to hit us this turn, which is just really good for us. So this event will be live next turn. Not this, but, you know, after his 6th Dawn turn. Ideally, I keep my 1 weenie to swing with Sokka, but really it's the same. It's using it to let my leader swing here, as opposed to letting my leader swing with Sokka later. And we don't even have Sokka, so we do find the Rosi Law, which is more ideal than Riplaw this turn. So we're still gonna play it, but Rosi Law, like, Riplaw would have been a fine play this turn as well if we didn't draw it. It sets us back a Dawn, which is annoying, but it's not that bad. Then when they take the 3, I do enjoy putting them to 2. These Riplaws are going to be huge in the next couple turns as well. Clears my Rosi. It's fine. We're always going to free block this. If he wants to swing another 5, it's fine. Realistically, an 8 is just better than another 5, unless he, which means he's probably just, like, assuming he realizes that, he's probably just, like, skill checking the 5, because he doesn't have the Dawn to go 8. If that would be the case, that means he's doing like I mean, he's not. I don't assume this build is on the Jaw 2 event, Samurai. Okay, so just go 5. I think like it's probably no diff, but I do decide because I do decide to just mama that and stay healthy. Um, brain fart. I decided to mama that and stay healthy just because we don't have Sokka and his body is already sideways. So I decided to just get value with it while I can. Here we do have event, but honestly, the targets that it's popping are not really that high priority. He played the Law instead of the Mihawk. I guess because the Mihawk can't play the Bonnie, right? So he had the Law instead. He didn't have a good target for the Mihawk, I suppose. Not entirely sure which Mihawk build is better. We go 8 into 6. If he defends this, I'll still consider doing the event, but he just lets it die. So now we're definitely not going to do the event. Just going to go 5, get a card. I go Riplaw. Honestly, I think I should just... I go Riplaw 6. I should honestly just win 7 here. There's like no point to you to hold up the I love you this turn. We're not gonna double Riplaw. That's 2 Dawn minus. We can just do another Riplaw next turn. So we'll just play promo here. And maybe that's the argument to go 6 over 7 to make sure he still has enough cards in hand for the Riplaw. But I think either way, you should just go 7 here. What did we hit? We hit a 2k plus a 9-cost Mihawk. Now Mihawk's probably irrelevant since he's on the second curve. He goes 6 on my board now, but I guess because I'm still at 4, he wants to start trying to get cards out of my hand instead of trying to hit me. I will just give a 1k because I'll just leader effect his leader swing. It does work out. I would have triggered that for sure if I was able to just take the life. So it worked out for him that he hit my board instead. Especially when I gave a 2k for the 6 at 6 anyway instead of a 1. Law at Perona. Excuse me. Play another Bonnie, sure. So we play the Perona. Adds Beppo, leader effect. He can't really swing 5 here, so he does just stun the 2. That's fine for us. So he does have exactly 7. So we do just right away pop those 2 in Riplaw. Now we go 5. We hit the Beppo that he had, so that's 1 out of hand. At this point, he's just really behind. The saving grace is for him that is we have like no stage, no Sokka, no Borsalino in hand, but he doesn't know that obviously. Go 5-5. Once he does that, once he counters both 5s, we'll just go 6 at Law. If he took either of those, I would just send them all at life. But if he counters both the 5s, we'll 6 the Law. Beppo, so at the very least we know we're not getting Luna'd. It could still be a restand, but it's not. I am just going to leader effect this. Make him swing that Law, and if he does, we'll give the 5k body over the 6. Here, so our turn is not that great once again. We'll just play Rosi Law, right? Which is fine. It's not a bad play by any means, right? So if we want to float both I love yous plus Rosi Law, that's 6 done. So we have 3 to attach. So I just start 6 at 6. I expect him to always let it die when his leaders are 7 and he has 2 in hand. It's actually annoying for me with our specific Dawn if he counters it, but generally it's definitely correct for him to just let it die, and I'm happy for him to counter. But my plan with the 3 Dawn is to just win 7-7 with the other promo Law plus leader, and leave back this blocker to block next turn. Vote the 2 I love yous plus the Rosi. I do want to do quick like lethal math on his end. Like this Law is going to die for sure, but like if I'm at 2 with 2 blockers, 2 Dawn, and he has these weenies, I want, you know, it's good to do quick lethal math on whether or not we can die because we have 1k in hand if he rests both of our Dawn and our blockers. If he has like double DMG somehow, it's possible. We're in such a good spot, we shouldn't leave ourselves open to die into that. So I'm gonna start 7 and then immediately play the Rosi Law and see if we draw a card that lets us feel more comfortable into double DMG. And we do draw Departure. So now we know we're never dead to double DMG. Because they'll have 5 Dawn to swing with, so the most they can do is like 5, 7, or 6, 6. So theoretically, if we drew another brick here, we would, and he has double DMG, we'd be gambling on a, well, we'd be gambling that he goes 5, 7. If he goes 5, 7, we can just count the 5 and then we still don't die, right? Or if he goes 6, 6, we'd be gambling on a 1k out of his top life. So like honestly, I don't know if I even swing if we draw a brick there. I don't think it's worth the risk with the spot we're in. I would probably just float 4 Dawn to be safe, to be honest. Yeah, as soon as this goes sideways, we're always blocking with this law. You could try to just like take everything and send lethal here, but there's no rush, to be honest. If he has some way to live a turn here, we're probably fine with it. Yeah, I mean, he's just dead, right? He's just hoping I throw somehow. You could counter, to be honest, but why? You know, just leader effect. And then it's just math. So yeah, pretty standard matchup. He was on Supernova instead of Wano. Probably better for us if they're on Supernova, but he still was on like Mihawk and Odin. He just didn't draw them, and he didn't draw as many cards because he wasn't on the event. He still drew a good amount of cards though because of the Bonnie. But when you play the Supernova build, like they're 6Ks instead of 7s, like the Mihawk is. So it's just easier. Like he does this first turn, and I just swing 8 right away, and it just dies right away, right? Like he definitely could have given me 2 cards. But honestly, like maybe I still don't Dragon Twister, even if he gives me 2 cards. Maybe I just send like another 8 at it and just develop 1 instead of 2 this turn. Yeah. But anyway, that is today's video. Probably only get 1 up before I leave for Gen Con. Try to get 1 more up tomorrow. I had a break last week. The week before I went to Peoria. That's why I was able to upload so many videos. But I'm actually going to be busy traveling like the next 4 weeks, going to Gen Con, then OKC, then Calgary, then Sweden. Then I finally get a break after Sweden. So it's probably only going to be like 2 to 3 videos a week. And actually the Sweden week, it might be only 1, if any. But yeah, I'll keep trying to upload when I have time, when I feel like it. Like I said, I'm still not necessarily trying to be like a full-time YouTuber or anything, but I've just been enjoying doing it. So as long as it doesn't feel like an absolute chore to try and upload and record these games, I'll keep doing it. And then I guess real quick, I'm not always going to be on Rosi, obviously, but like for starter deck meta, I'm on Rosi, so it's gonna be mostly Rosi. I'm not trying to. I'm still a competitive player, so I am mostly just playing the deck that I want to play. I've always been someone who just finds the deck that they're gonna play for the format and sticks to it. Hence why it's been nothing but Rosi games, because I'm pretty committed to this deck, and I'm pretty committed to it in starter deck format too. I think. If that changes, then we'll have different gameplay. But in 17, it's still up in the air. If I get off Rosi, then it'll be a different leader, right? And there might be like multiple different leaders while I'm figuring out what I want to play. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there for people who aren't interested in Rosi that still watch. Appreciate you. If you are interested, it won't always be Rosi, but obviously, like no matter what deck you play, you can still learn like fundamentals from this. Hopefully, I would hope. Um, and basic thoughts on the game. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Any questions, leave in the comments, and peace.